President Barack Obama proclaimed a national park in their honor, the Buffalo Soldiers. The story of the Buffalo Soldiers' bravery and service was not fully told until such proclamation. Much of their history is not told in American history books. In 1866, Congress established 6 all-black regiments, later consolidated to 4 to help rebuild the country after the Civil War and to patrol the remote western frontier during the Indian Wars. Although the pay was low for the time, only $13 a month, many African Americans enlisted because they could earn more and be treated with more dignity, a step above civilian life. According to legend, American Indians called the black cavalry troops Buffalo Soldiers because of their dark curly hair, which resembled a buffalo's coat. Aware of the buffalo's fierce bravery and fighting spirit, the African American troops accepted the name with pride and honor. The buffalo robe, a typical iconic overcoat, links African American soldiers with Native Americans and were worn by black soldiers in the western frontier. The term Buffalo Soldier later became a generic term to all black soldiers. It is now used for U.S. American units that trace their direct lineage back to the 9th and 10th Cavalry. Not all the recruits were former slaves. Most were free blacks of northern parentage and had served with distinction during the Civil War. The Buffalo Soldiers were a major factor in the victory of the Spanish-American War. They represented over 20% of all U.S. cavalry units until early 1890. They received 19 Congressional Medals of Honor, had 5 West Point graduates, and considered by many as the world's best horsemen. One such infamous Buffalo Soldier, Colonel Charles Young, was the highest-ranking African-American commanding officer in the United States Army from 1894 until his death in 1922. He also served as the first African-American superintendent of a national park, overseeing Sequoia and General Grant National Parks, while commanding a troop of Buffalo Soldiers in the years before the creation of the National Park Service. Young, a West Point graduate in 1889, was the 3rd African American to graduate from West Point. Captain Young was appointed military attaché to Hispaniola in 1904, the first such appointment for an African American. The Buffalo Soldiers blazed trails for African American veterans such as Benjamin Oliver Davis Jr., Air Force General and the commander of World War II Tuskegee Airmen, and the first African American general officer in the United States Air Force. General Colin Powell, who served 35 years in the U.S. Army, rose to the rank of 4-star general and became the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, also National Security Advisor to President Ronald Reagan and Secretary of State to George W. Bush. The Buffalo Soldiers have been immortalized in pop culture through songs like Bob Marley's Buffalo Soldier, a 1997 television production starring Danny Glover, and Spike Lee's movie, Miracle at St. Anna's. American patriots, American heroes, the Buffalo Soldiers.